What is the Islamic perspective regarding adoption? Adoption, in the sense of adopting a child, an orphan, or somebody who does not know their parents, picking up some kids from the streets to raise them, bring them up, give them the proper education, or kids who lose their parents or one of the parents, is something that Islam encourages, and something that the Prophet ﷺ stated in the sound hadith, which is agreed upon its authenticity, that the Prophet ﷺ said, أَنَا وَكَافِلُ الْيَتِيمِ فِي الْجَنَّةِ هَكَذَا. I will be with the person who looks after an orphan like these two fingers, the index and the middle. هَكَذَا. The person will be close to the Prophet ﷺ. In another hadith, كَهَاتَيْن, like these two fingers. And both hadith are correct, but the former one is agreed upon its authenticity. So if this is the case of supporting, looking after orphans, fine. Islam encourages that. Islam encourages even if the orphans inherited some wealth from their parents, that their guardian or the person who looks after them or adopted them should invest their wealth on a reasonable basis and should not touch their wealth, should not be a beneficiary of their wealth. He may spend out of their wealth on them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah An-Nisa, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَأْكُلُونَ أَمْوَالَ الْيَتَامَى ظُلْمًا إِنَّمَا يَأْكُلُونَ فِي بُطُونِهِمْ نَارًا وَسَيَصْلَوْنَ سَعِيرًا. Those who eat or touch the wealth of orphans without a just reason, like for themselves, not to support the orphans, they're only eating nothing but fire in their bellies. وَسَيَصْلَوْنَ سَعِيرًا. And by the end, they will be admitted to the fire of hell, the blazing fire, وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. So, these are the two cases, looking after an orphan, or hurting him, or devouring his wealth, or misusing his inheritance. But if you're asking about picking up some children in order, a couple, for instance, who were not fortunate to have children, they come from the States, they come from Europe, and they literally buy children. Then they register them under their name. They give them their last name. That is prohibited. Yeah, go ahead and adopt children, as many as you want. Support them, raise them, educate them. Allah will bless you as you raise exactly your children, or even more. But under any circumstances, you're not allowed to give them your own name or your last name. So they will not be called by your name. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah An-Nisa, وَمَا جَعَلَ أَدْعِيَاءَكُمْ Surah Al-Ahzab, وَمَا جَعَلَ أَدْعِيَاءَكُمْ أَبْنَاءَكُمْ ذَلِكُمْ قَوْلُكُمْ بِأَفْوَاهِكُمْ وَاللَّهُ يَقُولُ الْحَقَّ وَهُوَ يَهْدِي السَّبِيلِ. Then in the following ayah, أُدْعُوهُمْ لِآبَائِهِمْ, ayah number 4, أُدْعُوهُمْ لِآبَائِهِمْ هُوَ أَقْسَطُ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ. So what does it mean? It means that there is a story behind it. In brief, that the Prophet ﷺ adopted a child or a young boy before Islam, and he rewarded him by doing what everybody used to do before when they adopt children, like non-Muslims do today, would call him, if the child is, his name was Zayd, his father's name was Nun ibn Haritha, so he said, you know, from now on, you're Zayd bin Muhammad. You're Zayd, the son of Muhammad. And Zayd was the happiest person on earth, because later on he became the son of Prophet Muhammad. He also bore his name. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed in Surah Al-Ahzab beautiful verses to explain that, yes, thank you so much for adopting them, for bringing them up, but وَمَا جَعَلَ أَدْعِيَاءَكُمْ أَبْنَاءَكُمْ. Your adopted sons are not your real sons. You should not call them by your own names. Then in the following ayah, أُدْعُوهُمْ لِآبَائِهِمْ هُوَ أَقْسَطُ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ. Call them by their real fathers. That is more just in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَإِن لَمْ تَعْلَمُوا آبَاءَهُمْ. That's a question. I went to the orphanage, I picked up a kid, and I did not know who's the father. فَإِخْوَانُكُمْ فِي الدِّينِ وَمَوَالِيكُمْ. Then they are only your brothers. You call them brothers so and so. or friends, but don't give him your last name because this is cheating. That is the only difference, and how Islam encouraged adoption and restricted this only thing.